Hey guys, so you read the title. This is my Black Widow review. Um, I love the MCU, but this movie, I did not like it. I didn't really see much of a point to making it besides the post-credit scene, but I feel like they could just not done that. So I guess Natasha's sister is gonna be a villain in Hawkeye or something. Like, cause she's gonna think that he killed her. They could have just not done that. They could do something else. This movie has no real effect. I mean, I guess it introduced some characters, but the movie itself had no effect on anything. The Red Room, you see it in one scene of Age of Ultron, one really short, small scene. And yeah, that's the whole The whole point of the movie was a rescue mission of characters you don't know, like a bunch of women, which is, I mean, of course, is the right thing to do, but, and they wanted to kill that guy, that really evil guy, but you've never seen them before, until the movie starts, or even way after it starts, you start hearing about this Drolf guy, or Dracolf, I don't really remember his name, but, I saw it today, by the way, earlier today. This is how forgettable it is. But you don't really see the characters, and you don't get to know any of them. It's kill bad guy, rescue women. That's the whole movie. And they happen to blow up the whole Red Room in the process. And I was all for killing the bad guy, because they did a bit of a better job developing that. He's really bad, he does all these horrible things, he doesn't care about human beings, he has no human decency. But the women, nothing about them. They didn't really, they're just it's the right thing to do, and so we're gonna do it. But again, the Red Room was not in the MCU at all, except in that one scene in Age of Ultron. So it has no, like they said, he was basically hiding in shadows, or hiding in darkness is how they put it, I think, in the movie. So it doesn't have a significance. It's not like S.H.I.E.L.D. or anything. It's not like they're taking down, or an evil S.H.I.E.L.D. base that was an issue for a while. I think they could have built up to it. They could have put a lot more. I think they were supposed to release this movie after Civil War, but they ended up not, and then they decided to go back and do it, which was kind of weird. Like I said, I feel like they didn't have to make this movie. If they were to make it, I think it would have been cool if they had at the beginning of the movie, she breaks Steve, and Sam Wilson out of jail. And maybe someone else too, I forget. I don't think she broke anyone else out. But if she could just break those two out, and then they go take down the Red Room, I think that would have been way better. I did not like the side characters in this movie. I know it's kind of an unpopular opinion. I watched some reviews. Even a guy who didn't really like the movie said Florence Pugh's character, I don't even remember, it's Elena or something. Her character, the blonde lady, if you don't know the actress, I only know it because the people in the reviews were saying it. I know she's in some good movies, like Little Women. I haven't seen it, but I don't really know the actress. Anyways, she was not funny in my opinion. A lot of people like her, but I didn't. She's like, oh, you're married to a mechanic, and Natasha says, that's not my story. That was just not funny. And nothing she said was funny at all. Red Guardian, I actually know that actor. He's in Stranger Things, and I like him a lot in that. In this movie, I liked him at first when they broke him out of prison. I thought the arm wrestling scenes was funny. When they broke him out of prison, I thought he was saying some funny stuff. Like when she was talking about her hysterectomy and stuff, he's like, oh, that's nasty. Stop talking about that. That's gross. And a lot of the stuff he did was funny. And he was just, yeah, he just like yelled, like farewell douchebags, and he just screamed it in Russian. He's like, ah, baba. That was pretty funny. And a lot of other stuff he said. But the second they got to the house, like from the prison scene to walking was all good, like walking on the trail. But the second they actually got to the house, he started being annoying. He's like, oh, stop slouching, Natasha. That's just bad for your back. Ha ha ha. Very funny. I'm laughing so hard right now. Like, I'm sure a lot of people watching this. I mean, not a lot of people are going to be watching this, but some of the people who are watching this probably thought that was funny. I just didn't find it funny. I'm sorry, I didn't. So yeah, it was not good for the rest of the movie. And Taskmaster was a huge disappointment too. Like, why they make him a girl? And why did he could have also been a huge like part of the movie. Like, how are we gonna defeat this guy? And then what they actually did, they just threw down that little cure thingy, the antidote, and oh, she's cured, hooray. That's not, like, they could have actually like defeated him in hand-to-hand combat. That would have been cool. Like, they could have been like, oh man, this guy, he's photographic memory, he can't defeat us, or sorry, we can't defeat him, this is so hard. Like, they could have done that and had a huge issue in the movie be how they can't defeat Taskmaster and he's too powerful. But they didn't do that. They just threw the thing on the ground. And what they could have done was had a really cool solution of how they actually defeat him, and say he's not even brainwashed. He's just a bounty hunter with a job. Anyways, I just thought was dumb. And why did they make him a girl? Like, what was the point of that? I guess, like, oh, he's part of the Red Room, and he's also brainwashed. And it was the guy's dumb. I mean, whatever. Just could have had him be a bounty hunter. I saw a Spider-Man cartoon. He was like this really creepy guy with a mustache, and he had a more skeleton-like face. He kind of had like the teeth, but wasn't really quite there. I actually really liked his costume. I'm not faulting that. Actually, the whole look of the entire movie was really good. That's one thing they got right, this visual effects and the coloring of the scenes. That was all amazingly done. Top notch there. And that's one of the reasons I had high expectations, by the way. The trailers were really good. I was like, oh, this movie's going to be really good. But I was really not expecting to dislike it, which is really unfortunate. I just wish it would have done it like better. I wish it would have built more anticipation to the Red Room. Had it have been more important, not just like, oh, they're doing evil stuff, let's go there. I mean, like, it has nothing to do with the rest of the MCU. Nothing. It's just they're doing bad stuff. Let's go off on this adventure and take them out. It's just the movie didn't have to be made. Anyways, what's something else I didn't like? Or did like? I liked the beginning scene. That was the beginning scene with their escape. That was probably the best part of the movie, honestly. Even though Natasha, like, that weird blue hair. But I feel like that was the best done scene. Like, you actually cared for the characters. And then they all just got, like, bland and annoying. They're all super new. Like, this is another huge thing. During all the emotional parts, you just don't really care for them that much. At least I didn't care for them. Because they're having these, like, family discussions. I was not expecting it. They're having these, like, discussions, and they're like, oh, and having all these emotional scenes. And I'm like, are they actually doing this? They think we really care about these people? Just watching it, like, man, I don't care about any of these people because they're such new characters and they no development pretty much. Like they're all in like Florence Pugh's character. She's in these fight scenes. She's giving these one liners that aren't funny, and then she's like, "Oh please, I cared, or you were my parents as a child," and then she like leaves and they start singing the "Bye Bye Miss American Pie" song. None of that was good. I didn't care about any of that. I think that was about it of what my thoughts were. Oh, Taskmaster fight scenes. Those were really good. Actually, all the action was really good. I really liked the part when Black Widow was like fighting the women. Um, that part was pretty cool. Like that was actually a really well done scene. Um, yeah, and when she got blown up and she had to fight Taskmaster, that was pretty cool. They could have. This is something that frustrates me. Taskmaster is such a cool character. The concept, there's just so much potential in that, and they just didn't do that much with it. They just decided to go the route of like, oh, it's the guy's daughter and she's injured and you almost killed her, and that's pretty much what they did. They could have. It didn't have to be Taskmaster. It could have just been someone in a mask. They could have just made the character up. It didn't have to be a comic book character. It's not like a rule. They just made up Ned from in Spider-Man. Like they could have just had a masked character, and it could have been the daughter. It didn't have to be Taskmaster. Like don't waste Taskmaster. I'm guessing Taskmaster's gonna be a hero from now on, cause she's got like I think they're gonna bring him back. Her back. Um, but yeah, it's really unfortunate how in the MCU they never got to fight Taskmaster and actually have trouble with him. I mean, they had trouble with him, obviously, but I mean, her. They had trouble with her, but they never like had too much trouble with her, and they didn't show that many scenes of what he can do. Like that, he did the flip at the same time as her, and I mean, she did the flip at the same time as Natasha at the beginning. Is what I'm saying. Uh, yeah, they just could have done so many other things. I'm not even mad that there's no character development, but they didn't even have Taskmaster be what Taskmaster is supposed to be, which is a huge issue that the heroes don't know how to solve because he can copy all their freaking moves. But they did the whole move thing, but I just feel like Taskmaster was not as much of a struggle as she should have been, you know? Anyways, I'm just gonna start repeating myself if I don't stop. Because I don't really have much else to say. Also, the accents annoyed me. I'm sorry. They just, sometimes they're just getting under my skin. Like, that's me. Like, that's not Marvel's fault. That's my fault for, I don't know, just not being around enough Russian people or something. It just, the Russian accents were so thick, it was hard to understand sometimes. And the typical Marvel jokes that they were making, they just didn't work as much, I feel like, with the Russian accents. Like, uh, they make those jokes, a lot, those same types of jokes I've seen in lots of Marvel movies. Um, but in this, it just didn't work with the Russian accents. It was weird. Like, the Wakanda movie, um, I feel like it was the same with the Black Panther, but it was not as bad in Black Panther. In Black Panther, the Wakandans were, when they made jokes, it was not as bad with the accents. Like that with they were definitely easier to understand, and the accents were not as bad with the jokes. It's just with the jokes. That's the part where it falls flat. But besides that, it's just hard to understand them. Anyways, um, I feel like I didn't explain that well enough. The distinction I was making is you got the jokes and then, you know what, never mind. I'm gonna lose my train of thought. I'm just gonna end this review. So, I didn't like it. The end.